eternal thirst. They say the night hides more than shadows. It hides stories, stories older than kingdoms, older than the first human words. And tonight I will tell you the oldest one of all, the story of how vampires came to be. Part 1. Before the darkness. Long before cities rose from stone, before men learned to bend iron to their will, there were tribes, scattered and fearful of the dark. For in the dark, there were whispers. Something was watching. Among the first people, there was a healer named Shine. She was unlike the others, braver, more curious. She walked where the moonlight barely touched, collecting strange herbs and listening to the songs of the wind. The tribe said she had a gift, or perhaps a curse. One autumn, famine struck. The animals vanished, the rivers thinned, and a strange sickness began to spread, stealing the breath from the young and the old alike. Shine tried every remedy she knew, but nothing worked. Her people were dying. One night in desperation, she went deeper into the forest than anyone dared. The trees grew so thick that even moonlight could not pass through. That's when she heard it, a voice, cold, ancient, calling her name. Part 2. The First Bargain. The voice belonged to a figure unlike any living thing she had seen. Skin pale as frost, eyes glowing like dying embers, and teeth, sharp and long, just visible in the dim light. It spoke, "I can save your people, Shine, but everything has a price." The stranger claimed to be older than the sun and moon, a being cursed by the gods for defying the laws of life and death. In exchange for her loyalty, it would give her the power to heal, the power to never grow old, the power to drink the life from others and give it to those she chose. Desperate, Shine agreed. The stranger's hand cut her palm with a single nail, and their blood mingled. It burned like fire and ice racing through her veins. When she woke, her senses were different. She could hear the heartbeat of a rabbit hiding in the grass. She could smell the fear on the wind. And she was hungry, hungrier than she had ever been. Part 3. The Gift and the Curse. At first, Shine thought this was a blessing. She returned to her tribe, healed the sick with her new strength, and drove away predators with impossible speed. But the hunger never stopped. One night she lost control. She drank the blood of a dying man, not to save him, but because the scent of his fear and the warmth of his life pulled her into a frenzy. When she looked up, the others were staring in horror. The tribe cast her out, calling her night demon. Alone, she wandered from camp to camp, trying to help. But everywhere she went, the same thing happened. The hunger always won, and each time she fed, she felt a part of herself slipping away. Part 4. The Spread of the Blood. They say evil spreads faster than good. In time, Shine found others. Outcasts, warriors, thieves. People with nothing left to lose. She offered them what the stranger had given her: immortality, power, freedom from sickness and age. They took it, and thus the first vampire clan was born. But with every new vampire, the hunger multiplied. Villages began to disappear. Corpses were found pale and cold, with 2 wounds in the neck. People whispered of blood drinkers who could not walk in sunlight, who burned at the touch of holy fire. The gods, angered by this new plague, cursed the children of Shine. Sunlight would scorch their flesh. They could never enter a home uninvited. They would thirst forever, but never be satisfied. Part 5. Hunger of Shine. At first, Shine believed she could control it, the burning, endless thirst that clawed at her every waking moment. She thought she could be different, better. She had saved her people once, pulling them back from the edge of death with her strange, cursed gift. But now the same power that had healed them began to destroy them. It started with the weak and the sick. She told herself she was helping, that taking their life was a mercy, an end to their suffering. But soon the hunger stopped caring about mercy. Shine began to hear it, a low, constant whisper in her head, like something alive inside her veins. It told her to drink, to take, to never stop. One night when the moon was high and red as blood, Shine woke to find herself standing in the center of the village. The air was thick with the scent of iron. Around her, silence. The kind of silence where even the wind is afraid to move. Bodies lay at her feet, faces pale, eyes wide in frozen terror. Their necks bore the same two small wounds. Her hands trembled, sticky with blood. She remembered nothing of the night before, only the taste. From then on, Shine wandered from place to place like a shadow, leaving villages empty and cold. Farmers whispered of a woman with eyes that glowed like embers, who appeared in the dead of night and vanished before sunrise. Some claimed she could slip through walls like smoke. Others swore they heard her singing softly before she fed, a song that froze the soul and stilled the heart. But the truth was worse, because sometimes Shine didn't kill her victims. Sometimes she let them live, and those who lived changed. They began to avoid the sun. Their eyes grew strange. They whispered in languages they had never learned, and at night they too began to thirst. The whispers in Shine's mind grew louder, more demanding. It was no longer just hunger. It was a command, a call to spread the gift. A voice that was not hers telling her, "Make more." She did not know if it was the curse of the one who had made her, or something far older, buried deep beneath the world. But she felt it. Something ancient was watching her, and it was smiling.